You there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to 4 Times Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting up with Team 1 in the north, and anyway, Team 2 in the south. Starting up with Team 1's Eastern player, we have in orange, the color orange. It is Love Me Some Rice. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1500 rating. To his west, we have in Stitch Blue, it is Caliber playing as a Cyber, and he is a 1700. And to his west, another blue player for Team 1 in Royal Blue is Judah. I think is how you say the last part of his name, or Judah for short-ish, I guess. He's a Seraphim. He's a 1900 for Team 1 in Imperial Grey. To his south, it is Dimitri 11 playing as the UEF. He is a 2000 rated player. He is the highest rated player on Team 1. And to his northwest in glow-in-the-dark green, it is MSG, best food additive ever. He is a Cybran. He is a 1700. So with Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 Seraphim and 2 Cybrans, 1 UEF, no Aeon for Team 1. Starting up with Team 2's Western player, we have in Rust, it is Incolados, I think is how you say his name. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1300. To his east in Chevy Crimson is another Seraphim. It is Geneva. Hopefully he will not violate any conventions in this game. He is a 1700. In Light Oak Tan to his east is Colonel Kenny Lee. He's playing as a Cybran. He is an 1800. And in Batman Gray, we have Unknown playing as the one of 2 Aeons in this game. He is a 2200, the highest rated player on Team 2. And in the game overall, I probably will call him Unknown at some point, just because his name is pretty much that word, just missing that extra N on the end. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, or unaware of Unknown of who I'm talking about, that is who I'm talking about if I do say his name is Unknown. Anyway, to his southeast, we have in River Red, it is Zoom playing as an Aeon. He is an 1800. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have, like I said, 2 Aeon, 2 Seraphim, 1 Cybran. Team 2 lacks the UEF faction. Team 1 lacks the Aeon faction, which does make Dimitri 11 the only UEF player in the game. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 37,000 mass in reclaim, which makes it 3.7k mass per player. And there are a lot of 400, 500. There's a couple of 800 rec or mass reclaim locations, a couple of 700s and 900 on these little upper plateau sections. Are they up? Well, I guess they are technically upper plateaus. They're just not completely isolated. So there's a lot of mass to go around. It's everywhere pretty much except the direct middle, but there is some mass in that kind of outer ring there. Taking a look at the mexes in terms of just how they're divvied up around the map, there is a lot of one-off mexes. There is a couple of clumps. Again, Team 1 in the north, Team 2 in the south. This one will go to Team 1. Trimex position here, and in the northeast corner. We have another Trimex position here, so 4 of them near the base of Love Me Some Rice. There is a Trimex position that DB11 is already at, and another Trimex position west of that. And then a quad mix that will be for Team 1. Where's that quad mix for Team 2? Am I blind? I don't see that as a quad mix. Anyway, there's a... Oh, no, that's a Trimix. It looks like a quad mix because the color is kind of the same. Anyway, that's why I was going and saying, anyway, forget that. Not a quad mix. It is a Trimix. Caster is blind today. Apologies for that. So there's a lot of mexes to grab. That eco will skyrocket pretty quickly. There's a couple of civilian structures that offer a little bit of reclaim there as well. A couple of Team 1 PD to watch out for, but looks like Team 2's already dealt with that, and Team 1 looks like they're about to do that here shortly. So there will be a decent amount of, kind of avenues, very much choke points here in this map, especially on the western and eastern side. The middle is very much open for more bigger land armies. I wouldn't be surprised if this is where Team 2 or Team 1 tries to hold as much as possible, because it does offer avenues north and west. And from Team 1's perspective, it kind of cuts off any advancement on the eastern side in that position. Same thing on the western side. And like I said, in the middle, there's a lot of avenues to get pretty much everywhere. There's also avenues on some upper plateaus to get a little bit more of a height advantage in this game as well. So definitely a lot of places to go. And we do see that everybody on Team 2 and everybody on Team 1 has left their main base. Looks like Team 1 is going to have 1v1 in the east facing off against Zoom. 1v1 in the mid-east, 1v1 in the direct middle. Looks like it's shipping up to be a 2v1 in the Midwest. Maybe not. And Colados is pushing westward, trying to intercept those forces from Dimitri. That might kind of just force him to engage with MSG on that western side, making it a 1v1 pew 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 pew. Since Geneva, he is going for his gun upgrade, if you can't already tell by the name of said upgrade. Eastern side, we have Love Me Some Rice falling back, couple of Aurora chasing him down. Definitely not the best position to sit in, but you know, he does have some units inbound to assist to cover his retreat. And looks like he's going to actually turn around and face off with them anyways. Kind of ripped into the shred pretty quickly, so you know, there is that. He does take some damage. He does drop into the yellow, so it has to be a little bit more careful, but by the time the comm of Team 2 Zoom gets there, he should be back up into the green, and maybe he's not that close to veterancy. Gun starting here for Caliber in the east. And we do see possibly going to go after a nose position, but actually it looks like he's just going to run right by a couple of Team 1 bombers over top, helping to thin the herd out a little bit, but nothing too crazy. T23 says, what was that message about? Talking about T23 for Geneva? Maybe, 3 T2 facilities. That's what he's talking about for Dimitri 11. Okay, so what? That makes no sense. Gun started here for Colonel Kenny Lee in the south, and T2 started for Geneva as well. He's probably going to try to fight back in the lot of T2 spam started by Dimitri 11. And that is going to be a little bit crucial because this avenue of attack could open up and essentially try to isolate the column of Encolados, but at least isolate the western side if Dimitri 11 just full sends it in that southwest direction. Gun started for Love Me Some Rice. He's fallen back. And Zoom is now taking control of the eastern side. Still forces here for a no. Looks like it's just more assisting forces. Of course, we have the air player of Zoom going for T3 air, so that's why he's not really supplying a lot of his own ground units. Stealth started for Colonel Kenny Lee. Comm-on-comm action has occurred between Caliber and a no. Caliber has gun. A no does not. This would be a great grab by Team 1, killing off the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. Team 1 PD trying to be spammed up to defend the comm. Couple of T2 tanks as well in the form of some blazes, so nothing really damage concerning for Caliber, but it is concerning nonetheless. Unknown drops again about 50% of his hit points. Now we have Caliber being a little bit surrounded by some Team 1 and are there T2 units in that mix? Or just Team 1s, just the ones from Geneva. It does allow a no to escape. Lovely teamwork there. It will give Team 1 a little bit of an advantage on the land side of things in terms of map territory. But it does allow him to escape, which is, of course, better than losing him, especially given he is such a high-valued asset for Team 2, given, again, the next rating on Team 2 are 2 1800s, so if you want to keep that rating with that highest-rated player in the game kind of thing alive for as long as possible. Not saying he's the most important player just because of his rank, it's just tends more experience. Not necessarily more experience, but I think everybody gets what I mean. I say that a lot, but I do kind of ramble on once in a while and try to get myself out of it, which is why I say, you know what I mean, and kind of just pivot to another thing. Gun started here for Encolados on the western side. Combi-com action, not just yet happening. It's Gun versus Gun in T2, so a little bit of advantage for Geneva. 14,000 hit points because of 1-star veterancy. Dimitri has no veterancy, so he would survive a 1v1 shot in terms of every shot from Dimitri landing on every shot on him. In terms of going from 100% to 0 HP. We do see Colonel Kennedy over here just to assist. Unknown, just in case, is another try to, overrun the eastern side. Love Me Some Rice is pushing in, and Zoom is retreating. Very unlikely that air players go for upgrades because they're saving that mass for T3 mexes, T3 P-gens, air facilities, all that stuff. So that's why a lot of them don't go for upgrades, which he could have gone for and maybe tried to help a little bit with this position, but there's a lot of Team 1 tanks here, and I just don't think it's gonna really work out for him, even if he did have that gun upgrade online. He'll probably get to 1-star veterancy, but he might die on the way back if Team 1's Love Me Some Rice does continue to push the issue, which Looks like he's kind of doing that. Not let me some rice, but Zoom kind of getting stuck on some territory, and territory put some geometry there. We have MSG does have gun online, so it kind of smacks myself up the side of the head saying that air players don't really go for gun upgrades or more offensive upgrades, especially earlier on, but psych, I guess they do. And he has T3 air online as well, same thing with Team 2. No secondary air players emerged for Team 2 or Team 1 as of yet, but don't think this will be a map that we'll see that. There's a lot of open land. It makes it very easy to get some T3 units, T4 units really deep into enemy territory. Nano done here for Geneva. Gun Nano and T2 on board. Going to be a little bit hard to kill, especially him being a Seraphim comm. Dimitri, again, only has gun on board. T3 gunship out, T2 gunship outbound. Gunship transport outbound from Colonel Kennedy. Don't know where he was going with that, but didn't look like there was a terrible amount on board. We do see Geneva is pushing against Dimitri's position. He's going for shield. So being a little bit tanky on board that UEF, typically tanky comm. We do see Caliber thinning out the herd a little bit on the eastern side for Unknown. He doesn't really have that much online. Team D online to protect his investments a little bit. That means there's either a unit or a comm or something around here that has a TAC missile launcher on board. Western side MSG being overwhelmed, and I think we'll see the first departure of the game. He's not getting out of there. There's Ilshi's nearby, the comm of Vinculados is nearby, so unless he just lets him go, which I don't see that happening, it's not going to be great. It does look like a transport at some point dropped off maybe it ran by, but possible transport dropped off that brick here from Colonel Kennedy, and there goes Team 1's MSG. The air player for Team 1 is defeated. Definitely not good for Team 1's air by any means, but it will most likely go to Dimitri, which means he'll get second base, which will definitely be nice to keep at least his opponent of Geneva back. A couple of air scouts over top getting a read out what Team 1's up to. Looks like there was another assassination on some mexes on the northeastern corner against Levy some rice. T2 started on board Zoom's comm. He did take some damage. He didn't die, but he did get pushed back significantly and will kind of be out of the fight, at least with his comm. Air being expanded upon soon. Looks like his mexes are more of a concern first. That's definitely probably a smart play there. And it's now a 5v4 in favor of the southern team of Team 1. Not everybody made it past 20 minutes. It is unfortunate, but there's a higher percentage of games that players don't make it past versus that do. A couple of Titans bullying this brick. Brick will probably kill off... No, doesn't kill off the T2 mechs, which means that will save Dimitri 11. The cost of the mechs plus, again, the 9 mass per second that he's getting from that. We do see a couple of units still pushing through on the western side, given the fact that now MSG is killed off. Dimitri 11 has to play double duty with air, but actually, psych that he doesn't play double duty. He gives the base over to Juna, and he hasn't been super active on the front lines, which does really make sense, giving him the air role instead of Dimitri 11 getting it. A couple of Titans inbound, Autumn over here as well from Judah, actually. And this should be enough to deal with any of these units. Again, Ilshis are T2.5 by their nature, but a lot of T3s, especially those Titans, will probably rip those hit points apart pretty quickly. Nano repair started on Incolados' comm on the western side. We do see some shots going into at least the shield surrounding Geneva's comm, but again, T2 Seraphim shielding still have a lot of hit points, so definitely, I mean, it can't just be blitzed down at least by one unit very, very quickly. Do not die, please, says Judah. Probably talking to Dimitri 11 on the front lines. He's like, please don't die. I have to take care of a whole bunch of other stuff. Please, I don't want to deal with it. We do see Geneva getting some overcharges into some units. Dimitri 11 up to 1 star, almost close to 2. Geneva's almost at 3. Again, 19,000 hit points on board. The shielding definitely keeps him alive for a little bit longer. There are some more T2 units inbound. It immediately gives it over to Geneva. And again, they're both Seraphim players, which means those units transfer over and can be wielded quite easily. There's no, double click and you have some Seraphim, but then you have to like select them differently because you can't just double click and all that. Anyway, it's just a little bit more annoying to deal with rather than being the same faction. Some Ilshis inbound from Judah to, actually, those from Judah? Yeah, those are from Judah to assist. There's even some more forces inbound from him from the east. possibly to assist. Dimitri 11's shield is about to go down. Geneva really hasn't taken much damage from the comm of Dimitri 11. He's been focusing on his veterancy. He's up to 3 now, and Geneva's almost at his 4th. Bomber's inbound will still not take that shielding out. It is a very, very tough shield to deal with. 19,000 hit points is annoying. We have some more PDs trying to keep this little Trimix position online, but isn't really going to matter. And Mr. Rice going through his nano upgrade. We have Dimitri 11 still pushing, gets a lot of Percy and Parashield assistance, which again, he now doesn't have a shield on board. At least it has to recharge. It's going to take a minute to get him that. So having the additional firepower and protection will definitely help out, but there's still so many units here for Team 2. Geneva dropping into the yellow. He again does have nano, 104 hit points a second regen, nothing to scoff at. Going to keep him online for a while. Overcharge misses for whatever reason. Looks like it locked under a unit that died. Nano repair still coming online for Encolados on that western side as well. Down the middle, nothing really too crazy happening. We do see some conflict between Caliber's forces and the ones from Colonel Kenny Lee on the eastern side. For Unknown, he's fallen back a little bit and just kind of hanging out on this eastern side just in case some units run by, but it's only going to be Team 1, maybe a couple T2, nothing too crazy. But still, the push is mounting. More T3 units being added to the mix, both again Percy and the Optims. I feel like a combination of anything in Percy's is just great, but that's of course me being a Percy stan. I will not be afraid to admit it. Best T3 land mainline unit in the game. Will not be able to tell me differently. Just the raw damage that they put out is just insurmountable. They can be countered depending on the mix-up of the army. If it's just Percy's, then yeah, they can be countered pretty easily depending on what you're using, but for the most part, in terms of just base, they're amazing. ASF over the top for Dimitri 11. I guess he didn't transport the ASFs, and gunships being deployed by Drua. They're T2 Cybern. They're not T3 Whalers. Looks like he just spammed it some T2s and called it a day, which in this case worked out pretty well because you just needed to spam up some units to go after those Ilshis. We do see more inbound trying to stop a little bit of that supply line happening on the western side for the column of Encolados. And all of the units here from Dimitri 11 are starting to fall back. Team 2, Geneva has been pushed back. He's only lost a Trimax at the end of the day, so nothing really damaging. But Eco, again, it's going to be more focused on that 15,000 clump of mass. So that's really the benefit that Dimitri gets out of that. We'll be able to help finish off his upgrading to T3 mexes. Maybe he'll start a Fat Boy. Maybe he'll give the master over to somebody else that could use it. Maybe air facilities or something. Or somebody else building experimental. Team 1 and Team 2 both have Cybern Tech, which means they can get monkeys. Cheapest T4 land unit in the game. A couple of options being bullied by a couple of Harbingers. And a T3 Serenity is what I think I see. I think I see a... Oh, look, right there. Yeah, there's a Serenity right there. Hanging out. Shooting while he's moving. Couple of units on the western side being bullied by a brick. A couple more bricks inbound as well for Colonel Kennedy. Speaking of which, experimental is done. I think that was done for Team 2. Yep, there's the Monkey Lord online for Colonel Kennedy. It's going to probably be eastern. I don't know, maybe western side. He might try to push in to help kick back Dimitri 11 back to his main base, or go after him entirely. He's still regenerating his shield 9,000 out of 19,000. That is the one downside with a huge shield like that, is once it's depleted, it regens not slowly, but in terms of percentage, very slowly. Total shield hit points, so it's going to be a while before that thing's actually operational. So it's just going to be a little bit of a sore spot here for him, but again, he's going back to base, so he should be fine. Isn't really staying with his forces to scoop up the reclaim, but it does look like most of it has already been scooped up, to be fair. In terms of eco situation, Team 1 900, Team 2 1.3, 1.2, 1.3. So over 300 mass in favor of Team 2 is a considerable amount of mass to be ahead. Definitely concerning. And that might, again, not the only thing that will determine who wins the game, but it doesn't hurt to have a huge pocketbook. Eastern side, maybe there's going to be attack from Lovely Some Rice going after the comm if he knows he's there, which they don't. And there's an attack in the middle of the map here for a nose base, and that's not lasting much longer. Lots of T3 units. There's a couple of T2 artillery, a couple of T1 PD, but nothing that's going to keep that base online long term. He does have some reinforcements inbound, though. That could be enough to drive the force away, but the base is gone nonetheless, and he's really just losing firebase after firebase after firebase here in the mid-east position. Nothing really straight down the middle from anybody, possibly because it's maybe easily countered by the other team just because they can bring their forces in, but I don't know. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. Monkey Lord versus Monkey Lord. It looks like Team 1 has their own. It's built by Caliber, and with a lot of forces nearby, whoever gets the Monkey Lord dead first might be in a huge good position to go after that reclaim. But we will see. There's a lot more units still inbound from Team 2. There's a couple of factories here that can easily resupply versus Team 1, which don't really have any factories nearby. There's this long conga line happening. Western side, lots of Ilshis, but now we see more T3 units being built by Encalados, and he's going for an advanced nano as we speak. No regen or as of yet, but we will see a couple of Optims on the western side. That's not helpful. Team 1 A spam, possibly for scout denial. Again, it's going to help against T1 scouts, but not against T3 scouts. That was a couple of T1 PD will be enough. Those Optims were already damaged, so they're not going to live much longer. It looks like the Monkey Lord, apologies for missing it, just got absolutely denied. Team 2 charged that in, and then it got destroyed. Team 1 still has one operational at over 25% of its hit points, and almost at 2-star vet as well. And Love Me Some Rice personally going to move in. He has Splash and Advanced Nano on board, so he's going for essentially Calm Sniper. He's not, or the Calm Brawler, I think would be the better way to put it. He regens pretty quick, and he does a lot of damage per shot with that Splash upgrade. So probably, yeah, Calm Brawler is probably what I'll nickname the Advanced Nano and Splash Seraphim Calm. Air grid being expanded nicely for Team 1. Team 2... it's starting to be expanded now, going for different strategies. One for a centralized air grid to the north, one for more of a decentralized air grid, keeping the headquarters away from everything else. Love that play. He's going to have a bunch of mass fabs online to scale that eco as well. Huge amount of power constraints, though. Going to have to spam up T. Oh, yeah, look at that. Just dropping power. Desperately probably should go for some T3 Pigeons, at least a little bit more first. Monkey Lord heralding the charge here for Team 1. Colossus start. That's not going to go anywhere. And Summoner, Quantum Gateway, that's probably not going to last much longer. Unknown, not moving into assist, going for some T2 PD to protect his position on that eastern side. Lots of Harbingers inbound. Love Me Some Rice is definitely going to get some veterancy from this engagement, especially when those units come to say hi. Splash does a lot of damage per shot. You can see ripping units apart pretty much in 6 shots, I think, as I did my math right. Overcharge kind of makes that math a little bit wonky, but he is regenerating 230 and climbing, so that's really going to keep him online for a long time. Those Harbingers looks like they're going to have to fall back because of the calm. Again, the only concerning factor in this calm pushing into the middle thing is he's very far forward. Team 2 could easily try to snipe him. Donut being built by Team 2's air player. Do they have air? Did I just not notice any sort of air fight? Maybe. Where are all the ASFs? Oh, they're sitting right here. Okay. Not really. It looks about the same. TAC missile started here for Dimitri. Do you have T2 on board? No, you do not. This has some engineer support nonetheless. And it's upgrading pretty quickly. Maybe he's going to go straight for Billy Nuke. Ooh, please do. Please go straight for Billy Nuke. Ah, hey, there it is. Ha ha ha. Lovely. Again, the only player in the game who can build that. And he's probably going after that large group of T3 units down here. It's going to be a great amount of damage dealt with that thing. And again, Love Me Some Rice is in a position to do a lot of damage to these land units, especially with them stacked up the way they are. He does have to be concerned, though, because it doesn't matter how much regen you have, because eventually your opponent will do enough damage to out damage or out regen you in that case. And you'll die, taking case in point, the Cybran SACU Rambo nonsense with the 400 regen a second. or hit points a second regen, you can just out-damage that, essentially. So it's not the end-all be-all. ARAS started here for Unknown, trying to scale his eco quite nicely. Team 2, 1.8. Team 1, 1.4. Team 1 at 4 players left. Team 2 at 5. Team 2 has lost some territory in the middle, but it's not the end of the world. They're, again, still leading the eco situation. They are building a donut in the back, so we'll see how that plays into things. Thanks so much for watching to the midpoint-ish of the video. If you haven't done so already, because why not at this point? Hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment, do all those fancy things that YouTube loves to see. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And let's go take a look at where that building nuke is headed off to on the western side. And it's going to land exactly where I thought it's going to land. And will it be enough to pierce the shielding and kill off all those T3 Othams? No, but it does kill off a decent chunk of the Ilshis. Will the Othams move in response? Absolutely they will, and they're getting the heck out of dodge. Calados goes, annoying. Yeah, I mean, it can be, but again, he's the only one in the game that has it, so you might as well go for it. And the fact that he's the only UEF in the game means he's the only one that can build Fat Boys as well. He has that little bit of extra range on those units, but again, they are weaker, closer range versus all those other units. Our left side is doing nothing. We lose this as Colonel 2-1 no. Here comes the Billy Nuke, nicely placed. Oh, nice grab there. Takes out a huge chunk of those forces for Encalados, and that probably gets him 5-star vet. Oh, that gets him 5-star vet and then some. 37,000 mass killed. He's going on a transport. Now, the only issue I have with this is he's not on the Continental. So, easily shot down. There was a comment made, I think it's in yesterday's video about a Continental. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But Love Me Some Rice going to be assassinated by a donut. Not necessarily the first time in the game I've ever seen that, but this early in the game, most definitely. Oh, the ASF's not going to get there in time. He's dead. Team 1's going to lose another player in this game. He's still alive, just barely. But the palm of Team 1's Love Me Some Rice control Ks, killing off a huge chunk of those ASFs. A great job there. He knew he was going to die. He took the control K. I still count that as a kill here for Zoom, but ooh, that is going to hurt. Some ASFs, of course, do get killed out by the ASFs from Team 2 because of the distraction of the donut. The donut does land on Team 2's side of the map, which is nice, but that's a lot of dead ASFs. I almost want to go back and look at the numbers, but then I'd have to go back, and I don't want to. I mean, I can do that. I just feel like it's not super. Anyway, it's not super important. Transport killed off. Dimitri 11 does land up here. Not really the best situation to be in. Needs to get another transport online, going back to a little bit more friendlier territory. There is an AA emplacement nearby. Transport is inbound. He has to be careful, because if there's any ASFs in the area, he will die. And bombers do hit him for a little damage. And he's going to say, nope, I'm out of here, see you, bye, and go home. Yep. He is going home. He did some damage to some T2 mexes. Maybe those were T2 mexes, so kills off 27 mass a second for Team 2. Eco staying, it's still about the same. 400 mass roughly in favor of Team 2, 300 to 400. Probably more on the 400 side of things. It does have to be careful. He's being very, very bold, and Team 1 has lost another player. So if he dies, that's another percentage of the APM gone for Team 1. Air grid being expanded upon very, very nicely. It is kind of getting that more boxier shape. So cascading is definitely a concern. Eastern side, maybe go for some secondary air facilities just in case. Bomber started for Team 1. And that donut, again, did kind of pay for itself. It killed off a comp, but I don't know about the loss in ASF, if that was really worth it long term. He's going for some restorers, also getting, of course, more ASFs. Colossi spam coming online here for Unknown. Colonel Kennedy going for more Mass Fat Farm and Crab. He already has one online. And more air facilities, looks like, for Team 2's. Geneva looks like he's going to try to help in the air department. Or just go for air. No, he has T2 air, so maybe just not the fighter bombers, which are always nice to have. No big ticket numbers yet for Team 2 or Team 1 as of yet. I don't think I checked everybody's base, but I don't think there'd be much anything out of the now main conglomerations of the 3 bases in the Northwest. These are And I mean, they can build stuff in these bases, but the problem is this is more tightly packed, so it's easier to defend. And you can get a lot of overlap with shielding and SMD coverage and all of that versus kind of not out in the boondocks, but kind of just off to the side where it's a lot easily isolatable, I think would be the better put. It's GG, you lost left when that should crush. It's GG, you lost. Talking about the donut, I think, is what he's referencing. RD time says Geneva. It's possible start to the end game here for Team 2. Again, it is 32 minutes, so players definitely need to be thinking about how they want to end it, not necessarily just to survive it, because you can try to survive a game all day, every day, but there is such a thing as, I mean, games are played to have fun, but you also play games to win, and at least I do at least. That's why it makes it hard, because I want to win, but I also want to have fun, and sometimes you don't really get to, not necessarily do both, but you get so caught up in wanting to win that you kind of miss out on the having the fun part, and that kind of takes over everything. That was definitely how it was when I was younger. I've kind of started to grow up at least a little bit. Not a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit in that regard. Crab, 2 monkeys, 2 chickens, 2 colossi, 2 crabs. Lots of T4 units stacking up over here. There's also another chicken over here for Team 2, so that could easily be donated over into this mix. Neither team wants to engage because that means that that mass will be closer to that other team. So it's really who decides to go. And specifically for Team 1, if they push into, let's say, the crabs position, they can easily get sandwiched by both Unknown's forces and the forces of Geneva. And then the same thing the other way, but kind of worse. If Team 2 engages, it's a little bit better because they're attacking from different fronts. But it looks like the main force of T3 units with a couple of chickens are going off on the eastern side. Don't know if they know where Unknown is, but they could go after him. Oh, they do know where he is. So they could try to assassinate the comm. Lots of T3 units inbound. There are a couple of units. Where's that crab going, I wonder? But crab is moving in east where the monkey lords could try to intercept that and go after the crab. And that chicken could try to... that crab could try to intercept that chicken that's inbound. Colossus standing tall. Unknown is now moving. Definitely smart play there. Restorers are inbound. There is some flak on board those chickens. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. But is it something? Absolutely it is. So we have a little bit of a bottleneck happening here for Team 1. Not going well. That chicken is now dead. But there is the Colossus is almost that second chicken going in to try to hug the second Colossus. The question is, can it get there? And it's going to get close. A couple of PD opening up. And I think that is close enough. And there's another Colossus inbounds that might actually not be enough. Airfight does occur on the western side of this conflict. The Monkey Lord and the chicken trade, and that crab is now dead. But these 2 crabs coming in to go after that. Team 1, I think, donated a little bit more than they probably should have, I think. And they're not going to get as far into Team 2's territory as they would have liked. And now the air, I mean, it's still in favor of Team 1, but there's a lot of dead stuff for Team 1. And the restorers are not going to last much longer, but it's too late. The chickens are dead. There's no hope of getting those back. And of course, all that mass is on Unknown's doorstep. He still has the donut to scoop up, so there's even more than that to scoop up. Sly debt, yeah, not super great, but hey, an attempt was made nonetheless. 200,000 mass on the map, and if I try to zoom in as much as possible, 190,000 of that is on screen. I drop in about 187, so yeah, definitely within Team 2's purview to scoop up all that mass. Team 1 needs a big ticket item. They have an artillery piece. That's good. He abandons the satellite project and goes for the second artillery piece project. Would like to see that starting. You literally can't kill me. Oh, is that the advance? Yeah, that's the advance now region. Gunsplash started for Encolado, so he's going for the ACU Brawler or the Seraphim Brawler. Bomber drops up onto this artillery place up into the north, not north, but on this upper plateau. The actually position survives quite nicely with that one shielding. There are some ASFs waiting to engage. Bomber has dropped into the yellow. Not too great. AA being spammed up. Bomber has to get another good pass, and ASF's going to try to clear the road to allow that bomber to have free passage roughly inbound. And we'll see. He's going to go Is he going to go on the eastern edge? Is there going to be an airlock? Maybe. ASFs are trying to go after the bomber. Don't know where it's going. It's really deciding. They're taking a long time to decide. Looks like they're going to go after the artillery piece being built by Unknown. It will drop on top of the shielding. It won't kill it off, but it will weaken it enough maybe for the artillery for Team 1 to take it out. The Pigeon does not die. If the second one, or if the one goes off, then it should be enough to cascade and kill off the artillery piece for Team 2. Let's see. It's either a lucky artillery piece or the bomber, which there's no shielding left, so it will just be the bomber for Team 1. And the SMD will go down as well. Everything here is gone. A couple of ASFs die in the blast, but the success was made nonetheless. So nice grab there by Team 1's air player of Judah. And no real land conflict happening. Couple of crabs, couple of Colossi securing the reclaim. Bomber going to drop on a portion of the air grid for Team 2. Going to drop right there. Nice positioning there. Grabs in the middle of the two shieldings. Takes them offline. Doesn't have enough. It does have enough damage. Not damage. Enough HP to probably survive one more blast. It could go after the SACUs. That'd be a great little clump of mass income to lose. But the shield is built in time. Ooh. Not a good place to stand, to keep your ASF sitting. Ooh. Couple of pigeons, couple of air facilities go down, but not great placement there. Looks like he's going on the greener pastures, but it did kill off 118,000 mass. So that is something. T3 artillery started over here for Geneva. Another bomb is going to drop. It's not going to... I think it should be enough to take the shielding offline. There's enough. AA kills off an air superiority fired. Oh, lands on top of the position right next to Geneva. Will the bomb go off in time? Will it go out the front door, the side door, the back door, a door? It's going to drop on this position, killing off all of those land facilities. And it's not going to... Oh, okay, I just wanted to secure the death. It doesn't go after the artillery, though. It doesn't get the artillery. But did deny one of them and severely damage that position for him as well. Actually, Geneva takes a shot from that artillery piece, but should be fine for now. Team 2, on the other hand, though, is pushing in to that eastern side, but there are more chickens. There's a Colossus, or a couple of them trying to move in, but I don't think that's really going to work. There's some gunships inbound. Another bomber is built. I don't know. Large group of Austin's pushing in, trying to delay the chicken, I guess. That's not really going to work. There's a couple of FAF boys that should be more than enough to deal with that. Dimitri's comm has moved over to the eastern side. Looks like he's helping Billy nuke these two crabs. One Colossus is down. Second Colossus will go home. Reclaim scooping up here for Unknown. Don't know what he's going for now. That would have been a great bomb had that gotten actually onto the ground, but the shield came online just in the nick of time. Go after all those SACUs. Geneva does lose the artillery. No, he still has... Nope, that's a land facility. Never mind. Loses the artillery he was building. So Team 2 has lost 2 artillery pieces, or at least some artillery pieces that were either on their way there or kind of on their way there. 2 bombers now online for Team 1. And he's just pumping out those bombers. Is he building another one somewhere? No, he's not. I think he's sticking with just the 2. Second artillery piece online for Dimitri, going for number 3. Still hasn't gone for the satellite. Team 2 does have a Cybern comm, so they could go for Telemaser. That is going to be Colonel Kenny Lee. Do you have any upgrades on board for that? No, not any as of yet. Artillery targeting the main base of Geneva. And now the Eco still in favor of Team 2. 3K versus 1, sorry, not 1 point, but 2.3. Chicken is down. Team 1 prevents the incoming land assault there. They're pushing back on the land assault on the eastern side. Probably shouldn't punish too much, because again, it's going to be that more mass dumping for Team 1. But stuff blew up. Where did stuff blow up? Sounds like SACUs blew up. Where did they blow up? They blew up over here. Looks like some SACUs on the front line. Don't know who for, but somebody. Bomb drops there. Don't know why, but looks like they were going after engineers maybe. Bomb not gonna drop, but severely damaged bomber. Just take that thing home. Ooh, that's a lot of AA. Yeah, not really great. Almost does a front flip though, or half a front flip at least. That, yeah, it's just That was not a good one. The first one was really good. The second one, if that's the second one, not super, super great. Artillery now landing on this position. Looks like there is one done here for Team 2's Colonel Kenny Lee. The only question is it going to get denied? Shielding being built. Pigeons being built. Again, needs to build the shielding probably a little bit sooner than that. But hey, at least he's building it now. Shielding is offline. Speaking of which, needs to get that one online. That he does. The one benefit, though, in his favor is that because the pigeons are not already there, they can't volatilely explode and kill off a bunch of stuff next to them. So that is a kind of a benefit of not doing pigeons first. But it does mean the artillery for him shoots slower, which is not as helpful, especially when you're trying to pierce some shielding, which Team 1's Dimitri desperately needs more than just the one. He's getting more T3 Sarah from shielding, though, which will definitely help out a ton. ASF, the air is in Team 1's favor. I think it will be in Team 1's favor for a while. Does Team 1 have... They don't have enough range on the artillery pieces, do they? Well, no, they do. Okay, almost the headquarters in range, but everything else is, so... You know, they can easily go after this to get 2 SMDs. I love the backup. Probably would stick it a little bit further back. Artillery piece started for him. It's a salvation. Now, again, some will say, why are you building a salvation? You might as well build a Paragon, then a salvation. Yeah, that's true. You probably could just build a Paragon first, which I would prefer, because I like to see the Paragon more and more. But it's nice to just build an artillery piece and be done with it. Because then you got to build the Paragon, and then you got to protect the Paragon, and then you got to build the salvation. You're going to have the build power for that to really use it effectively. But I do kind of side with just the Paragon of, I mean, at that point, you might as well just build the Paragon. It is going to take a while to build that thing, so being at yellow, at over 25% done, it is a considerable amount already done, so we'll see how soon it finishes. The only problem is, I don't know if it's going to be soon enough. Team 1 has 3 artillery pieces online now. Maybe they'll build that satellite, maybe they won't, who knows. And more shielding surrounding it as we speak, so it's only going to be harder and harder to try to derail that. Once the artillery comes online, however, it will be enough because it is rapid fire in its nature, but just don't know if it'll be soon enough is the problem. Team 1's launching a land assault on the west and the east. Looks like it's chicken crabs for Team 1. 1 Colossus over there. Team 1 on the western side being Dimitri. Pretty much, actually, he's the only one launching the assault. 2 Fat Boys going off against there's 1 experimental, but not a whole lot. Where'd that bomber go? Oh, there's 2 of them now. They keep multiplying. It's like rabbits, but not as fast. Shielding offline once again. You need more shielding. Ooh. 1 more nice, well-placed artillery piece, or artillery shot, and that's a game over artillery piece. Oh, shield comes back online. Ooh, it's close. Any of these blows up, that's it. That's the end of that artillery piece for Team 2. Salvation, still not in the green, but it's getting pretty close. And takes out the suits there, so that's something. Nice little benefit there. Kind of blinds Team 2 in the middle of the map. Shielding back offline, and there it goes. And Colonel Kennedy control Ks were essentially one after the other. Not the first kill of the game. He still had a lot more stuff left, but decided he was kind of done with the match at that point. It's now a 4v3, still in favor of Team 2, but again, not a kill. Team 2's Geneva control case after that. Now it's a tied up game, 3v3. And that's going to probably give all this stuff over to probably Encolados. But Team 2's, wow, a no control case as well. Wow, everybody's control K-ing at this point. Wow. Jeez. Is there going to be no kills for Team 1? We do see Encolados over here on the western side. This could be a legitimate kill. I call it legitimate kills. Oh, and there is a desync, but I mean, at this point, with 3 players control K-ing one after the other, this salvation is almost done. I don't know. Oh, look, there's another artillery piece online for Team 1. Where is it? There it is, right there. So we have 4 of them for Team 1. Again, not super great, because there is a desync nonetheless, but I don't know. There's a land assault. There's really nothing that Team 2 has to stop this. There's no experimentals nearby. So that's probably why a couple of players on Team 2 felt it was just enough to leave. There is a Colossus down. There's another Colossus over here that's badly damaged, however. There's 2 crabs and a bunch of bricks. That's not going to be enough to stop that. Bomber's inbound for something. Oh, artillery piece done for Team 2 over here on this western side. And crash landing on top of it will be enough. Nice. Thought it would not be enough. And Colado says annoying once again. And with that, he might just control K with that. This might be the first game where the entire team control Ks or just leaves without an actual kill. And turn from Team 1 to Team 2 kind of thing. Where Team 2 has scored 2 kills. But Salvation is online. And it's going after the comm of Dimitri 11. But again, he's not doing a lot of damage. He's actually... Oh, he switched up for Billy Nuke. That's right. It's like, wait, where does the shield go? Is that another bomber? That's another crab. ASF will fight. Once again, Team 1 heavily in the lead for that. Another artillery piece for Team 1 on this eastern side for Dimitri 11. There's 5 artillery pieces online. It's not Salvation. Scathis almost done. Okay, yeah, that's... With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artillery pieces. Yeah, that's kind of enough. I do feel like Colonel Kennedy could have gone for Telemazer and maybe gone after one of these positions. Maybe not that one, but maybe this one up here, or even the Scathis or something. But I don't really know if that's enough. I love how there's just an Omni up here being shot at, but can't really hit it. And there goes the Scathis fire. That's going to help break down the shielding. But there's still a couple of chickens. They need to be given orders once again. It's probably maybe desync related, maybe not. But, I mean, like we kind of already saw when the desync did happen, it's kind of not really looking good for Team 2 anyways. Salvation targeting the base over here to the west. It's being heavily assisted with multiple sets of engineers, so that's not going to break through anytime soon. Another Salvation barrage inbound. And another set of stuff blowing up. Maybe that's not desync related. Maybe it's just Dimitri trying to micro a whole bunch of stuff. Look at that spread. One of the reasons I don't like the Scathis is look at how far, like, AoE that is in terms of how much of a... Oh, shoot. What was the word that I decided that's going to be? Not targeting profile, but, I don't know. The shot accuracy, I guess. Maybe like shotgunning, how far spread the shots are from one another, the individual pellets or whatever. There goes Team 2 Zoom. Looks like it was by artillery. Yep, killed off by Caliber. That was going to be the Scathis. So Team 1 does score an actual legitimate kill. And now Encalados looks like he's going to go after some ice cream sandwiches before he passes. Drops into the yellow. Again, 250 hit points a second region. He's the Brawler comm. Let's see how long he lasts. Team 1 not targeting him directly, focusing on everything else, but they might see him and go, hey, there's a comm there, and go, hey, we should probably go after him. Well, who knows? Team 1 might have a bomber and just call it there. Don't see any more bombers. Good game, says Caliber. And there goes the retreat order by Team 2, and that's the game. 46 minutes, 16 seconds on the clock. Team 1 wins the game. There was a moment where Team 2 was looking very, very well. They were doing very, very good. They had things really going for them. But I think those bombers coming in, taking out the artillery piece building here, pretty much taking out the artillery piece building here, really set back Team 2 in that game. Dimitri 11 building these definitely kept Team 1 ahead in the game. And then there was just a snowball effect with all of them being built and whatnot. Nothing really great on land for Team 1 besides just holding the breach at some point back there, but definitely launching the assault. It was an attempt, and I do admire it, but again, Team 2 won that fight, so they got a lot of mass from it. But let me know down in the comments who you think MVP is. I do think, again, I know how some people feel about the Bombers. They're not the best unit in the game. They have a lot of flaws. Every unit could be said that it's bad. It just depends how it's used. But I do think the Bombers set up Team 1 for success for the artillery game, and then just kind of, like I said, snowballed. So I think Jula gets MVP for me, going for the Bombers, keeping those online. But again, we'll call out a very, very great move on Team 1's part. Love me some Rice. That Control K was just chef's kiss. Just amazing that I caught that on video, on cast, being like, that killed off, I think it was probably 40 to 50 ASFs. Just an amazingly well-timed explosion. So great job him. Takes out the donut because of it. And then again, kind of just snowballs with the Bombers after that. But let me know down in the comments again who you would pick for MVP. Thank you so much for watching to the very, 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 very end of the video. And I will see you all of you in the next one.